Welcome back. In this video I'd like to show you how I remove crankshaft bearings from the crankshaft safely, and I'm going to show you the tool that I made to do it. But first, these are the bearings which is already prepared. What you need to do is remove the cage that goes round the bearings, as you can see here. Then I'll show you the tool that I made. It's a copy of a Bacho system, which run into the thousands of pounds if you can afford one. Unfortunately I couldn't, so I made my own, and this is how it works. I'll show you the levers. Now 4 of them all together, but this job will only need 3 I think. So it's basically it's 3/8 square bar bent at the top into a hook, formed into a hook, and the actual face of the puller is shaped like this. You can see that's the rough shape of it. You've got a little ledge at the back here which rests against the inner race, and a little hook there that goes round the bearing and into the well like that. As you can see, that's the 3 legs. Now the actual puller head is shaped like this. A dish where the hooks can go over to pull. Now this threaded bar is off one of those car suspension spring compressors, and what I've done, I've turned the hook into a nut which fits inside, so there's a bit of a thread you can take out and replace it, and that's held on 3 locations, 1, 2 and 3, against the plats on the nut itself. So the next stage, now when you're doing this you must make sure to protect the threads at all times, because these come so many times damaged. So what I use, I've got a CRF 450 flywheel puller. That's the make there. What come into focus? It's an Apico 28x1mm isometric pitch, and with that comes one of these little toppers which you put on the crankshaft first. In fact, I've got a 450 crank somewhere here. I'll show you that whilst I'm on. That's a CRF crank, and you'll see that right in the end they have a little regulator oil valve. What a lot of people do is they try to use a normal puller and they destroy this little insert here. So with the kit comes one of these. You screw it onto the front before you start to do any pulling, when you pull the flywheel off basically. And that happens to be the same size as the Yamaha 350 YPBS, which is 12x125 I think it is. So you screw it onto there first so it protects your threads. And actually in the top of this I've actually slightly modified it so it's got a slight little dish, so when the puller comes into contact with that it stays in the middle. So basically you screw it on first, just half a dozen threads will do, and then with the cage removed on the bearing you insert the 3 legs, and you can move the ball bearings around actually on this so they're like even. So put your 3 legs in like that. Then are we in focus? Actually move it up so you can see the top. Insert the cup, screw that back a bit. They work very well, these. You see a lot of people removing crankshaft bearings with chisels. Disastrous effect waiting to happen. So there's the system put together, and all you need then is a 1/2 inch drive ratchet on the top, and we can get that all in. You can basically see what's the top of the ratchet on the top. So with those 3 legs inserted into the bearings, it's just a simple task then of just pulling the bearing off. I wouldn't recommend doing it any other way but this way. and it pulls the bearing off perfectly level without damaging anything. So let's stop halfway there and zoom in on the business part, which is there. And you can see that little dish that I've made into this insert, keeping the thread into the middle. And it's just a matter of a couple of minutes. And the bearing comes off. And that's it. That's the whole unit there. Zoom back out again. Ratchet off. So it consists of a homemade three-legged puller with the bearing safely pulled off. So I'll let you have another look at the puller. Just a steel top hat turned with a ledge on the top there for the hooks to go over the top, and the actual nut which was on the original suspension puller, I ground it into a hexagon to fit into the inside this insert, and then held with 3 6mm grub screws to stop that nut from turning. So standard car suspension compressor with you get the nut with it, and 3 legs that fit internally. I'll show you those shape again inside the bearings. As you can see the shape. I'll bring it into focus for you. They go round the corner and into the well and rest against the back there, like that. And it's impossible for that to slip out. I'll put a link in the video to where you can buy the Bacho kit for this. You get these in different sizes. It's about £800. This whole thing cost me less than 50 quid to make, which is a welcome saving. So that should explain how it all works. But the protect cap on the top here is part of a Honda CRF puller kit that goes on top of the crank when you're pulling the flywheel off. That's a must. You must have one of these, and make up some nuts for other sizes that you get as well. You can make these nuts up with, you know, OEM nuts and weld them all together so you pull a thread, stays in the centre when you're pulling it off. So that's about it. That's YPBS 350 Yamaha LC bearing removal tool. You'll find that this tool fits lots of other single cylinder 250s and 125s as well. So you don't need many different sizes of jaw to pull lots of different sizes of bearings off, or lots of makes. So I hope that's shown everybody how you can do it properly without damaging the delicate parts of the crankshaft. As per usual, thank you all again for watching.